We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. Hello, welcome to High School Famous. This is episode 208, so students, please turn your textbooks to the corresponding page and discover what you will learn. I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
Welcome into 2025, y'all.
Yeah, first episode of 2025.
Scoop and ice cream.
I'm hard as a rock.
Oh, your desk.
Oh, my rock.
Oh.
I have a pet rock in my lap.
Gotcha. You have, is it a small Dwayne Johnson figurine?
No.
Is it
Pebble?
Earth?
It's a pebble, and it's resting on my cock.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why? Is that supposed to, is it one of those like stones that supposedly emits various types of energy that maybe you're trying to have your cock sort of pick up on? Or,
no, my cock is going through etiquette training, so it's learning how to balance a rock on its head.
And it's taking steps, it's pacing back and forth across the room?
I'm just kind of flexing it.
Okay, sure.
Occasionally. I'm doing my Kegel exercises.
I see.
Yep.
When is this a New Year's resolution? Is this something you've been doing for a while?
We already talked about our New Year's resolutions.
I know, but
and how are you going on your painting, by the way?
Well, considering it's the second day of the year, I haven't started.
Okay.
I also I haven't blamed anyone for anything, but I haven't not blamed anyone for anything. Like, well, I guess I should say I haven't had the opportunity to exercise that resolution yet.
Okay.
So the only reason, not to say the only reason, but one of the key factors contributing to the fact that I have not blamed anyone for anything yet is that I haven't had the opportunity to.
Right. So far, at least you're on track for that one.
But I do plan to buy, in order to fulfill the other one, it wasn't specific. The resolution itself could be interpreted more than one way.
Yeah. So
I think I plan to purchase a cheap Windows computer so that I can use Microsoft Paint. And I will create a weekly masterpiece on that program.
I mean, you can probably just download some sort of a painting program for your computer currently.
I'm sure I could do that, yeah, which I would prefer to do.
Yeah, that would be easier. And I think the listeners would, and the viewers more so, because the listeners would just have to imagine what we would be describing to them.
Now, if I went crazy and made a weekly masterpiece and decided to post said masterpieces on social media platforms, then our listeners could even enjoy them.
They could as well, yes.
Yeah.
But I think it would be great if every week, starting next episode, you bring the little show and tell.
Okay. So if we record on our normal schedule, I have just shy of a week to accomplish this. Now, go easy on me, listeners / viewers.
Ladies.
Don't, No, I want ladies to go hard on me. Anyway.
Wait,
what? I want them to harshly judge my paintings.
Got it, yes.
Versus the males. Because I think, I don't want to be sexist, but maybe females are a little more attuned to the more subtle elements of fine art. And maybe better judges of art. Whereas, a man would be like, well, there's no crazy big explosion or rocket ship or monkey riding a lion attacking an alligator. This painting sucks.
I feel like you're really just kind of putting all men into some sort of a little box here.
Well, isn't that where they want to be? Some of them. Some men love to be inside a box. $20.25.
Sean's first quote of the year.
Some
men love to be inside of a box.
Where do you stand on that? Where do you like to be in relation to a box?
On top of. Your lighting just changed. There we go.
Yep. My notes app filled my entire screen, which is black, and it made my screen all black.
Got it. Yeah, on top of. I like to be on top of a box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
just yesterday I was jumping on one, crushing it, just crushing it.
Okay.
And then I put it next to a recycling bin.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You are not.
That's where the cops
referring. You are not referring to the
vagina
euphemism.
Sean?
Yeah, like I am.
Nope, I was literally referring to a giant cardboard box I had to break down this weekend.
Was this for your?
The other day?
Did your bicycle come in a box? Is that what this was?
Yes, my bicycle came in a giant box.
Very nice. You're worried about, or you're expecting the cops to find this box? I thought you said something until
it was just a joke along trying to lean it back towards your euphemism of it being a female that I jumped on and crushed and then threw next to a trash can outside.
Gotcha. I was hoping you were going to run with that and expand on why you'd be concerned about the police finding the box you crushed, but you just said, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
The end. End of content.
I gotta write something down at some point. We actually need to come up with something that we're actually talking about.
What is, where are you on your resolutions? The starting and the stopping.
Well, let's see. Stopping. I'm on track as I've always been. I have not. Do you remember mine?
You know what's funny? I can't find. Maybe it's in the generic.
I don't
section.
know if you wrote mine down.
I typed them both up.
Oh, well,
in fact, I just found them. Well, because you said you were going to forget, so I put that.
I didn't. I wrote mine down as well.
Okay. Well, you're going to stop hitting on your friends' significant others once a week.
Yes.
And you're going to start dating people from the internet right now. I think it said.
Right. That one did that one say right now? Yeah, it did say right now.
Yeah, they were both very odd in their timing.
Well, the stopping part, easy. I've been on track with that all my life, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna stay the course on that one. So I mean, I've done a full stop. I haven't even just stopped once a week. I've fully stopped doing it ever because I never started. Can you ever stop if you've never started?
Not technically.
So it's like I would have to. It's like I would have to.
You would
do
have
it.
to start.
I'd have to start doing it so I could stop doing it.
Do it once and then stop.
Right.
Like text a significant other of a friend of yours and just say something a little more, maybe a little flirtatious, and then
so the weird part
doing it.
The weird part is I would have to text one of my friends first to get the phone number of their significant other, and then they'd be like, "Why?" And I'd be like, "It's for this whole thing I have to do." I have to hit on them quick.
I have a few numbers.
I mean, it seems shady for me to get them from you. How weird would it be if I just randomly texted one of our friends' significant others without anybody's knowledge?
Okay. So
I guess that it would just be an anonymous text message that they'd be like, why is there some random person just hitting on me?
It would. You could say, "Hi, this is Matt Schlegel." So, how about this? If you were name the significant other you would most likely prefer to hit on once.
I'm not doing
to be
that.
Able to stop.
I'm not doing that. I will not do that.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean which one would you. No.
Because that just opens up a can of worms for them.
Well, let's explain.
Any of the other ones to be like, well, why wasn't it me?
Let's explain. Which one do you think would be able to sort of take the joke best?
Oh boy.
As in not get like weirded out or concerned or, anything like that. And then once you choose that person, I will let you know if I have that person's number in order for you to contact them.
Who? See, now the only people I can think of is like the main circle that are constantly hanging out.
Sure.
So of that main circle, I guess Mark's fiance would probably be the one that would
Okay.
Would you agree?
I think that's where my mind first went.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes,
even though I know Josh's wife, like I've known her longer, but I also haven't spoke with her in many, many, many years.
Yeah.
And that would be weird.
Right. So yeah, I have this person's phone number if you like.
I'm definitely not going to do that because it would be so fucking awkward.
Well, I'll have a talk with Mark about it and see
Mark
what his
won't care.
I think if they know it's coming, it'll all be just taken
ladies.
right. Mm-hmm. I'm a man in a box. Anyway, if they know it's coming, I think it'll just be like, oh, yep, this is the text we're expecting. That's what and they'll appreciate if you think of something like funnily, like humorous and flirtatious to say. But I think that would be a funner
thing.
Then
it feels like it also defeats the purpose of what it is if they're like, oh, it's coming and I know it's not real. Like, that would be...
But we're doing this just to get around a technicality.
Right. I hope to God my stomach noises are not getting picked up by my microphone. It has not stopped.
Well, I mean, not to say that it won't, but I haven't heard any of your stomach noises. So hopefully you can find comfort in that.
I'm just gonna find a sound effect of a stomach gargling. Just throw it in there every once in a while.
Did we talk about Christmas or what we got or anything presents? Like that?
I don't know if we did.
I sent you a picture of what I received from my dear boy.
Yeah, and you did. I believe you did talk about that because I said that at some point you just need to. I think we talked about you coming wearing that as a character, like making up a character.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah,
to come on the show and wear that, and that might have been off. That might have been off the show.
That's what I'm saying. I can't remember because I haven't edited that episode yet, so I can't recall if that was off mic or not.
Oh, because is that. Wait, you had to have episode.
Wait, no,
you're fully updated, so I'm like, wait, you had to have edited that episode. So it must not. Right. We must have talked about it off.
I'm thinking it was off mic, but yeah. So again, my son, even though he acts that he completely dreads the reading of the dad jokes.
Oh yeah.
Third year running, he has given me a dad joke.
Has there been any repeats? Because that's pretty impressive. If there hasn't been any repeats.
I do feel that some of the ones that I read during last year's calendar I had heard before.
Okay.
But mostly no. It seems to be so far over 700 unique dad jokes. Now, these are of varying quality.
Oh, for sure.
Like some are downright this is sad. Like
I would say a majority of them are.
But think of the challenge that is to produce, but you also have to I mean, I suppose I should be treading lightly here, but consider the sense of humor of the larger population as a whole. Mm-hmm. It's not as hard to make a lot of people laugh than it is for someone's like, say, you or I. So
yeah, It really depends for me sometimes. Sometimes a real simple, stupid thing will make me laugh very, very hard.
No, but I mean,
when it comes to actual like
this
jokes
is a joke.
that are meant to make you funny.
Yeah.
Make you funny. Make you laugh.
Like that. A dumb little misspeak. And
a dumb little spank.
A dumb little spank.
We're both writing it down.
I know. We know, yeah, anyway. Anyway.
That's our process, people. That's how titles are made.
Now you see how the sausage tastes.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't like sausage?
I love sausage.
I'm not talking about a euphemism.
I don't like to see how it tastes.
I don't think you can do that. You can't swap senses like that.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here's a weird, a weird question. Not a weird question, but here's a slight tangent question before we get back to the Christmas shit.
The important stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm done.
I write down Christmas shit.
I'm done with Christmas stuff. So
shit.
Oh, sorry.
So 5 cents. Your basic five senses. I believe there's more now, or there's a million senses.
Well, I mean, people consider like the sense of direction as a sense and things like that. But
so your basic five.
Yeah.
Touch, smell, sight,
sound, like
and
hearing.
the other two. Sound.
Hearing and taste.
Hearing and taste.
Yeah.
I lost track as I was going. I'm like, shit, did I say that one already?
It is five.
If you had to choose one of those five to lose forever, which do you choose? And I do have an answer for this because I've thought of it before.
I think anyone has thought of it, but I think you typically only consider sight or hearing when you're thinking about it. I think most people go, would I rather lose my sight or lose my hearing?
Oh, no, mine is always of the five main senses, which of those would you be willing to give up if you had to make a choice to get rid of one of the five?
It's hard because taste and smell are they're very much hand in hand. They go together.
I think smell goes with taste more than taste goes with smell.
I believe if you lost your sense of smell, it would affect.
Yeah, it would affect how things taste.
But would it work? But if you lost,
it wouldn't work the other way around.
If you lost your sense of taste, you would still. You're right.
You'd
your sense of smell would still be the same. Maybe sense of smell then, out of all five. I guess maybe sense of smell. I think it'd be miserable to not be able to taste food.
So my answer is taste. I'd be willing to get rid of my sense of taste. The main thing being that at that point, then I'd be like, okay, I don't care what I'm eating. Yeah. Like, I'll eat the healthiest shit. It's all just going to be about texture at that point, because you'll still be able to feel the textures of food. So there's certain things that I wouldn't like just based on texture.
Yeah, like a lot of the stuff that I shy away from is more of a texture thing.
And you could still smell the food.
Yeah.
So you're like, that does still smell good, but I'm not going to be able to taste it, which is whatever.
But the joy of just like,
oh yeah, it would suck.
That would be hard. I mean,
but then I would eat so fucking healthy, dude.
Yeah, let's be real. Like, none of the senses would be fun to lose.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But like, there's certain ones that would be far more detrimental. Like losing sight,
of course,
sucks. Losing sound, like losing hearing. Would be awful because you never listen to music again.
Famous.
You could watch. You
could
watch movies.
Don't go to other stuff first as what would be the problem. Like, people would not be able to listen to High School Famous anymore.
Well, yeah, they could watch the YouTube with subtitles.
I guess there's a way around everything.
So
that means I have to keep editing the videos for the rest of for those who have lost
for the hearing impaired.
Great.
So there's ways. So there's ways around it, but losing your sense of hearing would suck.
Now
not being able to hear music ever again would really suck, and then not being able to hear if danger is approaching.
That's true.
How do deaf people do it?
They're
constantly in danger.
There are you're talking about how do deaf people do it?
Yeah, they can't hear if danger is coming.
No, I know they say that when you lose They say if you lose one sense, the others are heightened, but I think that's most commonly applied to sight as far as any sort of storytelling element. But if you lose your hearing, does that mean that applies to as well? Like, would your
everything?
Would your sense of smell be heightened if you lost your hearing?
See, I'm wondering, is it actually heightened, or is it just that you're more focused on those?
You have to be more attuned to them too.
Yeah. Because I can shut off a sight, but like I can hyper focus or shut off a sense. I can hyper focus on certain things.
Yeah.
So like I can tune everything out. If I'm trying to desperately listen to something, I can tune out other sounds and listen to that specific thing.
But that's not turning off a sense, even.
No, but I'm wondering, but like I won't even like. So if I wanted to, for instance, if I was just trying to listen to somebody across the room,
yeah.
If I was sitting there and listening to them for like 5 minutes straight, if something crazy was happening right in front of me that I was directly looking at, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you what the hell it was.
Okay.
Because I'm so focused on what I'm hearing, I don't pay attention to anything else that's going on around me.
Interesting.
And that might just be like an ADHD thing. I don't know.
I'm not sure if
I can hyper focus like crazy.
I mean, I can become more focused where the other senses are maybe not as prominently noticed or experienced, but I don't know if I can get to the point where you're describing. Maybe I can, and maybe I just don't know it.
Yeah. My attention span is crazy with that shit. Like if I'm watching a TV show and I'm focused on it, somebody starts talking to me next to me, I have no idea they're even there talking to me because I'm so focused on what I'm watching that I just don't know what's going on around me at any point.
That doesn't happen to me. If I'm watching something and then someone starts to talk to me, I immediately lose focus on what I'm watching and turn to them. And because I know I can't focus on a couple things at once like that. Like I wouldn't be able to watch something and listen to someone talk to me about something and then still know what was said on the show or whatever I'm watching.
Oh yeah, no. Once my attention is pulled from what I'm watching, then my attention is now fully over here on this. So gotcha. I always have to pause what I'm watching because I will. That's why my whole thing with reading too. Like I can't sit and read a book because I start thinking about what I've been reading and then I lose what I've read. Because I'll continue reading, but I'm picturing what I just had read, and now I'm halfway down the page, and I've lost my spot, and I can't pick it back up.
I mean, I still have. So a long time ago when I bought some books, which is over a year now ago, I bought 5, and I've read one of them, and I think it's a similar problem. Yeah, I will just continue my sort of. Not, I guess you could say blindly reading, like you're seeing the words, but you're not comprehending what is being said because you're not following the story anymore. You're I've had to go back and read,
putting the story together for yourself almost, and and
I've had to go back and reread pages over so many times, and
that's what throws me off too about people who don't because there's that thing where people don't have an inner monologue, which blows my mind. But apparently it's fairly common. But that's the thing. They could just read it and have no issue, but they also aren't picturing it. They're just reading it. And they're like, okay, what an interesting story. How can your brain not do that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I can't comprehend it.
Because I would try to visualize what's being told on the page.
I'm visualizing shit all day long. My brain's constantly doing shit.
You in compromising positions right now.
I mean,
and so I'm not able to focus on what you're saying. Yeah, so I'm not able to focus on what you're saying because I'm so distracted by that.
Yeah, you're thinking about the Eiffel Tower again.
Yeah, which I remembered the name that I was thinking of, which is I think the wobbly H or something like that. Yeah.
I guess it's until they do the high five.
Right.
It's the wobbly H.
So, and then the high five can happen at any time. It could be when there's maybe a simultaneous finish. It would be an appropriate time to high five, or it could just be like, "Man, look at what we're doing! This is awesome!
Oh, for sure.
Look at what's going on right now."
And if you're not careful while you're doing the wobbly H and you fall off the bed, that's called the London Bridge.
That is what it's called. You somehow switch countries during the act. So
they're not that far apart. So
that's true. It's easy to get from one to the other.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for the crossbeam individual in that scenario because. Sometimes they might try to reach up for a high five and lose their balance and just fall down.
Yeah.
Because of the way they have to support themselves with their 2 arms and legs. But
it depends on how, it depends on the person in front. Maybe they can just support with
sure
no hands.
That would depend on both the person's grip. And then I don't think you want teeth to become involved if they're trying to hold themselves up.
Some people are into that way.
Some people are. I don't know if I am.
So what do you think would be the worst sense to lose?
I mean, the easiest one to say is probably sight.
I think touch would be the worst.
Touch would also suck to lose.
Because my great grandmother, she had no feeling in her hands. Towards
nerve damage or something.
I don't remember what it was, but she ended up having no feeling in her hands for I don't know how many years before she ended up passing away. But she would be cooking or something. She would be holding a pot, but then she wouldn't remember that she was holding it, and then she would just drop a pot on the floor full of food and shit because she had no sense of touch.
So, but she could feel the pain in her hands.
I don't know. I don't know if she could feel pain, but she'd be like if she was like holding something, but she wasn't paying attention to remembering the fact that she was holding something, then she would just do something else and drop something she was holding because she couldn't feel that she was holding anything.
Okay, so I was
so
thinking
not necessarily
at first,
burning herself, but like I don't know. Maybe she might. I'm assuming if you have no feeling in your hands, you probably can't feel heat. You won't be able to feel heat or cold either.
But typically, if you're holding the handle of a pot or pan, you're not going to get burned anyway.
Right.
So it's just that she forgot she was holding it because she couldn't really feel that she was holding. She doesn't even like even in her arms, like experience the weight of having something. I'm assuming
she could feel the weight of something. So maybe it like, something smaller like a cup or something. Maybe.
Maybe like if she's holding,
various
something
knives.
Smaller like a cup. For some reason, all I'm thinking of is like a rubber ball. I'm like, why would you? I'm thinking like
if you're like cooking and stuff and you're cutting. And you're not paying attention to where your hands are, you could easily cut yourself and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, sense of touch would suck to lose.
It would. Yeah. So the last time I was at the
kid, you could never feel holding them ever again.
Yeah. When I was at the dentist last, getting a filling put in, I remember saying to the guy, I'm like, I'm just ready for like, just yank all these suckers out and put in those like screw in.
Like all of your teeth?
Dental implants. Let's just get rid of them. Like, I don't want to have to do maintenance on my teeth anymore. Like, I'm so sick of worrying about it.
You still have to go in every, 6 months to get them taken out and cleaned and stuff, too.
Sure, but I'm not worried about, oh, man, this is the one set of teeth I've got, and I better keep them nice and brushed all the time and flossed, and don't let cavities build up or get, become a thing. I'm like, I'm just ready. Just I don't want this to be something I have to worry about anymore. Okay. And he said, well, you actually, there's a big quality of life loss when you have that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said that there's a lot of like sensory experience through your teeth when it comes to eating. And I was thinking, I don't know how much I agree with that. Or I guess I don't know how drastic it would be to lose that. Because to me,
it would probably only be noticeable for the first little bit of time. But then after a while, you just be like, well, this is what it feels like to eat.
Because you can feel when your teeth connect with each other. But yeah, I would lose that, I guess. But I don't think that
it's not like it's such an orgasmic feeling that you'd be like, I'm devastated.
Well, yeah, and I don't think
my teeth pulled.
I don't think food would taste any different. Like, I don't think you experience any of this taste of the food through your teeth. So I don't know. I think he's just like, well, I'm going to lose a customer. Or lose a patient or client, whatever you want to call it.
Because if they don't do that specific work, you'd have to go to an oral surgeon and all that. Yeah, they would lose you. I don't think the dentist is that worried about losing one customer.
No, probably not. But I just wonder why there's just like, oh, that's a bad idea. You don't want to do that.
I mean,
you want to keep it. You want to keep these very, very fragile. You better keep these things in your mouth because.
Well,
why?
I think I mean, I can get it. I get it as far as just like it's an unnecessary surgery to go through if your teeth
completely
are
cosmetic.
Pretty much fine. Like, other than getting cavities occasionally and whatnot.
For me, it would be like, hey, instantly straight teeth. Like, no need for braces.
It would be so strange for you to suddenly have very straight teeth.
But strange good. Just like me getting used to losing that sensory experience.
Right.
You would get used to me having straight teeth, and it would probably be like, wow, you look better.
That would be a whole new sensory experience for you. Is
looking good?
Just a completely different feeling inside your mouth because you're so you're so used to what your teeth feel like.
That would be more drastic to me than them being artificial.
Maybe that's an even better mouth sensory experience.
What? Oh, like the switch?
The switch to you, you'd be like, this feels better. I don't care how it feels I don't care if the chewing feel is different.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, this feels so good. Like, that would make you horny. It's just feeling, just like rubbing your tongue against your new teeth.
Oh, man. I don't need a woman ever again.
I will tell you this. that will be very expensive.
Depending on what country I do it in. If you go down to Mexico, I've heard it's quite discounted.
Yeah, but it's also a very dangerous surgery already because so my dad has false teeth. My dad has dentures. He doesn't have like dental implants.
Sure.
But he has the kind that he has pins and you can clip them in.
Okay.
He spent about 2 to 3 years recovering from that because of infections and different things that kept happening with the pins. His body was rejecting them. Ooh. And then they would get infected, and then he ended up getting an infection in his jawbone, so they ended up having to take some of his jawbone out, and it was like a 2 to 3 year process before he was finally healed up enough, and he lost like 3 of the pins. They just couldn't even put them back in because he kept rejecting them so bad.
So dental implants is better and a better way to go.
I don't know which is better. Because either way, they're going into with dental implants and with pins, they're going into the bone.
That's true.
So, because I know I have to look at doing something soon because my front tooth is gonna go away at some point, probably. Because it's hollowing out.
Oh.
For people who don't know, half of one of my front teeth is fake.
Oh, that's right.
Because it got, me and my sisters were fucking around and my face hit the counter and snapped my tooth in half. Ow. And then I broke it about 3 or 4 times after that as well. And then they finally put little tiny pins inside the tooth, and then that hasn't broken since. But in x-rays, that specific tooth is hollow on the inside.
Oh.
So it's just a matter of time before that tooth will be gonzo. And then my idea is doing a dental implant because I don't want to have like a retainer that has one tooth on it.
Yeah,
that I take out and put in and stuff. Like I'd want a fake tooth that's permanent.
Right.
So
I think that's what I would prefer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I had I don't know if we talked about, I forget, it was a while ago that I was at the dentist, but they said that one of my old fillings something was happening with one of my older fillings. And so they basically removed it and sort of drilled out a little bit extra and then put a new one in. And it was one of those old school, like metal looking fillings. Yeah. And it got replaced with like the whatever resin or whatever that looks more like your actual tooth color. So that filling in that tooth like now looks nice like a regular tooth. Yeah. I would like eventually to, and again, this would all be completely unnecessary, but it'd be nice to eventually replace all of my old fillings that look like that into the newer style.
Well, I think at that point you need to choose. Do you want all new teeth or do you want all new fillings?
Sure.
Because it'd be stupid to do both.
No, of course. If I'm going to make that choice, I'm probably not going to just go for, hey, yank all my teeth out and give me the implants.
Yeah, unless you have some serious mouth issues.
No,
I don't think it's worth pulling all your teeth out and having fake ones.
It's not something I will actually do. I think this is one of those things I say, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I just want one less thing to have to like maintain.
Oh yeah.
You know,
you could just choose not to maintain them anymore. And then eventually you'll have to get them replaced.
Well, I don't want that to happen either. So the funny thing is, and this is like this is probably not interesting, but I never really thought about my teeth or my smile or what it looks like. Honestly, pretty much until I sort of became single again. And now for some reason, I'm like a little more self-conscious about it than I ever have been.
I think a lot of people don't care.
Well, I mean, one thing you see common in like profiles is like, I like a nice smile or nice teeth. And I'm like, oh, well, I probably wouldn't fit that bill. I think I could be thinking that it's worse than it is. And like what they're thinking of is like some real messed up looking, really gross colors and missing teeth and things like that.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between like janky, like, I don't want to say janky, but like crooked teeth versus like a gross mouth. Like, you can have crooked teeth, but still have them be very healthy and clean and all that. And still, that's great. But having like a dead tooth or like yellow, gross teeth and shit like that, like obviously.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
It is not bueno.
Yeah. It is opposite of bueno.
Correct. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Is the
bad.
opposite of, is it, I mean, is the phrase just no bueno? Like, is there no word?
I don't even know, I don't
is
even know if
opposite
that's
of
really
bueno?
a phrase. That's just something Travis used to say all the time.
But
Travis used to just say no bueno all the time, which I don't know if that's a common thing Spanish speaking people say is no bueno all the time.
I should ask my Spanish speaking friend. I'll report back.
They'll be like, "¿Qué?" Because they
Okay.
only speak Spanish. They have no idea what you're saying.
Well, I will ask via a translator. So I will be able to ask in Spanish. Or I could just Google
like
it like we
a
always
person
do.
that's translating for you,
No.
or like
an app.
Okay, because I was gonna say you could just ask the person
I
that's
could ask the translator.
They'll
Exactly.
know.
Could you tell me how to ask this person this question?
If this is a common phrase.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, what you think I have a person that I hire or I just have constant access to translate into Spanish for me?
I'm assuming you got a person for everything.
Well, why?
I don't know.
Like, what else do I have a person for?
You got like a meat guy.
I don't have a meat guy.
What about a meat guy? Different spelling.
Like someone who arranges meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those.
I figured.
Yeah,
I had a
that's
feeling.
how I met the meat guy.
You said you didn't have a meat guy.
I don't anymore.
Okay.
It wasn't a good business relationship. So,
So your meat guy's not very good then.
well, I
He
successfully
sent you to a bad meat guy.
I successfully met the meat guy.
Right.
That was successful. Now the meat guy, his job is not to, what do you call it? Suss out, vet,
Right.
who is a good or bad person to come into contact with is regarding what I'm looking for. Their job is just to arrange the meeting. Like
Gotcha.
I found the meat guy.
Right.
And I said, "Hey,"
And then
can
he
you
found the meat guy.
No, I found the meat guy, yes,
Yeah.
but
And
then I
he
also
found the meat guy.
no. The meat guy didn't find the meat guy. The meat guy just arranged for the meat guy and I to meet.
Okay.
So
But he would have had to find the meat guy for you to be able to arrange the meeting.
no. I looked up and I was looking
Okay.
up. I was trying to find a meat guy.
So you found the meat
I
guy and
searched
then
the
found
internet
the
for
meat guy.
guys. No. I searched the internet for meat guys.
Mm-hmm.
Found one I thought, hey, I might want to meet that person. Contacted my meat guy and said, arrange for a meeting with this meat guy.
Well, that's what I was
That's-
saying. Originally you found the meat guy,
Correct.
and then you looked up and found another meat guy, but then had your meat guy set up the meeting with the meat guy.
Yeah, the
Got
meat
it.
guy didn't go and find and say, "Hey, I found this meat guy. You might want to meet."
You think that would be part of his job? Is not only is he arranging the meetings, but he would look up and find you people as well, and not make you do the work. Like, what are you paying him for?
Arranging meetings that I identify the other person or people to meet with. Yeah, I'm not going to leave it to this guy's judgment.
Yeah, it seems.
I'm not going to
silly.
leave it. Well, I'm not going to leave it to this guy's judgment to pick who I should and shouldn't meet.
Well, you
All I
shouldn't-
want them to do is reach out to that person or their person's people and say, "This Sean would like to meet with you.
But
Let's
it sounds
arrange."
like you shouldn't trust your own judgment because you said your meat guy wasn't any good.
Look, I don't bat 1,000. I never claim to.
Nobody does.
I'm a human like everyone else. I can make mistakes. The meat guy I chose to meet didn't work out. It turned out it wasn't a good meat guy. So now I got to find another meat guy.
But
I have no
your
issue.
meat guy's good though. Your meat guy.
My meat guy is great.
Okay.
He very successfully, with no kinks, arranged for the meeting of the meat guy.
Kinks would have been fine. We're kink friendly.
Exactly. But this particular scenario required no kinks.
Gotcha.
I preferred if there were no
Maybe
kinks.
that's why it didn't work.
Perhaps. Maybe the guy was too kinky.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to divulge why the meat guy didn't work out. It just didn't. Now I need to, if I care to have another meat guy, I don't think I'm ready yet.
Was he in pretty poor shape? Since he doesn't work out?
He's one of those naturally lean fellows. I think maybe it'll catch up with him as he
How are
ages,
his
but
teeth?
I didn't really pay attention. I was really focused on his meat. 2025.
We're not batting 1,000. That was fun. I like that.
That was great.
Meat guy.
The meat guy and the meat guy. Yeah. Good times had by both.
So yeah, sense of touch is the one I'd probably least like to lose. Anyways, we were talking about do you have a dad Christmas shit? Do you have a dad joke that you would like to read today? Are we going to get back into dad jokes every week?
I don't know.
Why not?
To be honest, the two that I've read so far for this year,
right?
No, they're pretty bad. So,
well, I mean,
do we want? I mean, I could try to text my son to run it up. It's downstairs.
Oh no! Do you know that? Do you have the two, or you don't even remember the two?
Let me try to think of the first one.
Nope.
It was something like, was it? There was one. I'll sort of paraphrase it. Dad, why did you decide to come home and take a shower right after you just showered today? Why did you come home and take another shower after your New Year's Eve party?
Okay.
Because I hadn't showered since last year.
Oh.
Throw paper, spirals through the air, falls down. That was the joke. And and the other one was equal, like same level of quality. So this calendar so far is not coming in with a strong start. It's not batting 1,000.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting much. Like you said, if these are new original jokes, not repeated from the previous two calendars. But I mean, it's a lot of jokes. You're not going to have a lot of quality after a while.
Well, every I would think, and again, I can't attest to how difficult it is to coming up with a unique dad joke for every day for an entire year and then do that again year after year. So this may be easier said than done, but I would think that they would have to treat every calendar as though it's someone's first calendar, and you know that you want to grab their attention from the jump. So maybe you want to put a little more effort into the first couple jokes of the year than you maybe do for some of the other days of the year, so that
you should
they
start
look
off
at
strong.
Right. So if that's what they're gonna start the year off with, I'm really worried about this next year's worth of jokes.
Yeah, I have a weird feeling that they've sold one of those calendars,
and it's just, I mean,
you have the only copy of that calendar that got sold.
Oh, like the 2025 calendar, there was only one produced, and it's somehow
not necessarily one produced. There was only one sold.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
Because if anybody has been getting them each year, like you've been getting them, they've got to go to the point where they're like, "I would like to stop getting this. It's no bueno."
I would say refrain from using that term until we verify its validity. So. Yeah. It may not be bueno.
Yeah.
You were always what? You've always what?
I always wanted the phrase, tres leches de muerte to be a thing.
The three milks of death? Is that is that what it? I mean, you could make it a thing.
Because I don't remember where it came from. It was something I said because I feel this is a Travis thing again. Travis likes to just randomly. I think he would just randomly say tres leches sometimes, and I just added the de muerte at the end of it because that was funny to think of the three milks of death. And that just it seems like a fun like little like group of cartoon characters or something.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh hey, you know
goofy,
what?
Some goofy
copyright
cartoon.
High School Famous or Sean and Matt. Like in one of the BTS moments of Impractical Jokers, I remember I forget what season it was or whatever, but I remember Sal and them were talking about tres leches cake.
Yeah.
And something about how if you add this, you can add a fourth leche.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you control the amount of leche at that point. Like he was
Oh,
it was the funny phrasing like that. Well, if you're buying a cake that someone else makes.
Oh, yeah, if it's a
don't.
pre-made.
Right, but he's talking about
Tres Leches cake. You could add more leches to it.
You could, but I think that was his point.
Really
like if you,
ruined.
I think it was like if you take the Tres Leches cake that you purchase and you want to add this other form of leche, is leche the singular form of leches, or is it one of those where it's also leches if it's singular?
I believe leche is just milk.
Leche.
Yeah.
I believe leche is just milk. But I think they're talking about adding that fourth form of leche
right
onto the cake. Yeah.
Could be an unlimited amount of leche on that cake.
Well, you'd have to have an unlimited supply of the fourth leche to be able to qualify
or
that.
Just more varieties of leche.
An unlimited variety of leche?
Like different varieties, yeah.
But to make that unlimited, there would have to be an unlimited variety, like different types of leches, and you would you'd have to be in possession of all of those types, and that if it's unlimited, that's impossible.
Well, okay, so
your lighting just changed.
Sorry, because I am on a different screen. I am looking up what are the 3 leches currently in Tres Leches cake. But it's a recipe thing, so I have to scroll through the
of course
family history real quick.
Here's why I love this recipe. It's so easy to make, and it's telling you how to make it. It just reminds me of home.
It's like telling you how to make it prior to like actually giving you the ingredients.
That's why I like, and this doesn't always work. It doesn't bet 1,000. Just the recipe.com. For a lot of times, you can put in the URL of the recipe website that you are trying to reduce. You put that URL in the search field on justtherecipe.com, and it should, if it works, if it recognizes the URL, it will show you just the ingredients and just the steps to prepare, like to make the ingredients, and mix the ingredients and prepare the food. You're not getting the backstory.
All right. So it's evaporated milk, condensed milk, and whole milk.
Okay.
So there's so many more milks than that.
I know. I'm trying to, I doubt I'll be able to recall it, but I'm trying to remember what the specific fourth kind.
Right.
He gave an example.
I mean, it could be goat's milk.
But it seemed like something you could, maybe it was something he was drizzling on top. Because I was thinking maybe it has to be maybe it was like heavily whipped cream or something. Does that have milk in it?
It has to.
Something you can pour on top, I think it was, but maybe it was heavy whipping cream.
But what if you also, so it's already got whole milk in it.
Yeah.
What if
like
you did
2%?
2%, some 1%, and some skim? There's 3 more milk. That's a 6 leches cake.
But that's to do what? Like, is it?
It's a 6 leches.
Yeah. 6
leches cake.
Seis leches cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyhow.
I think I wouldn't say an endless
I'd say that
variety of leches cakes you can make, but there's a large number of milks you can add.
There are, but I think
that bullshit almond milk and shit.
I don't think, soy milk or whatever else. Yeah. I don't think you want to get, there's a certain level of responsibility when it comes to this, though. You don't want to go overboard with your leches.
I think the way you can get away with it without it turning into just a
call the cops.
No. Because obviously amount of milk you're adding to this at some point, it's just going to be a bowl of milk with some other ingredients lightly floating around inside of it.
Okay.
So I think what you have to do is you find out however many milks you're going to use, but then you have to divide all of that down to then be, so it still ends up being the amount of volume of milk that you're still putting in. So if it's a cup of milk, you now have to take that cup of milk and divide it by, 16 different milks you're adding to this thing or whatever it's going to be. So it's going to be weird little tiny portions, like little tiny drops of an eyedropper of milk until you fill it all up.
I have a prediction.
Okay.
And that prediction is that the amount of effort it would take to do that, not only would it not be worth it, I think if anything, it would negatively affect the taste of the final product.
It would end up tasting awful. If
If
you're mixing all those different milks, it would end up being disgusting. But for a fact there's somebody out there that's like, I'll go through this effort to be I'm the person who made it.
If you're talking about including, say, soy milk, almond milk, those types of things, then definitely. I don't know if it would be super noticeable if you combined whole milk with skim milk, 1%, 2%.
Yeah, it would all just become like, it would end up becoming like 1.5% milk or something weird in there. By the time you mix it all, it would just.
I'm not sure how drastically noticeable that would be.
I think as far as the taste of the cake, you would notice it because it would dilute down the whole milk.
Okay,
so it would probably be. It would dilute the flavor down a bit from the whole milk if you're mixing in those other milks.
Now, here's one question.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one we haven't touched on yet. Would you add breast milk? As in human breast milk. I know all milk is, aside from like silk and almond milk, I know that's all breast milk when it comes to goat milk or cow milk.
So
you're
asking if I would add human breast milk
to a Leches cake? Currently undetermined number of Leches cake.
I would do it as long as I get to harvest it personally.
Okay, so you want
it's got to be fresh.
How are you harvesting it?
From milk to mouth to cup.
So okay,
that's going to be my personal cake because nobody's going to want to eat it after I've spit the milk into it.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. So, I suppose you don't have to be pregnant or recently haven't given birth to lactate.
I mean, it
helps.
I personally wouldn't. Yes.
Right. What do you mean? What?
You said you wouldn't have to be pregnant to lactate. No. I said I personally wouldn't have to be. No.
But those that do,
I would say, no, I don't think you have to have. I think there's some women that do lactate without being pregnant or having been pregnant.
There is a way to do it, I suppose, but you said these are your terms, is you would have to harvest it yourself.
Yeah. I'm a gentleman.
How does that make you a gentleman?
I choose not to explain.
Because the alternative would be making the female do that to herself?
Yes, that's why.
That's what makes you a gentleman? Okay. Interesting.
I'm like, no. I've got this.
I'll handle this one.
I'll handle
stranger.
This, ma'am. Why are you in my house? Who let you in here? But as long as you're here.
My meat guy set this up.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that. Yeah.
Like I found myself a lactating woman. Get me in touch with her.
And I just contacted my meat guy so he or she can arrange for the.
Well, you said my meat guy because then he or she you should know who your meat guy is.
No.
And you're calling him your meat guy.
Yeah, my meat guy is a guy, but
okay.
Some people could have a meat person that is a female or some other in between.
I got a meat lady.
I got a meat person. Let's just I got a meat thing.
Don't type that.
I'm typing a lot of things.
It's about time because last episode,
I know,
was rough.
I was, I don't know what was going on there. I think
no. So I wouldn't. For the record, I wouldn't extract the breast milk myself. That would be crude and unusual behavior, unless I got the permission to do it. So, I'm
all
about consent.
I'm not going to reveal who this is, but
wait, what?
No.
This is a weird transition.
No. It was anyway. This is all in joking conversation a long time ago. But someone I know who had a baby a little while ago. Okay. We were chatting, and there was discussion about just hanging out and making. I'll make you this type of food, and she said that she jokingly was saying that she was going to use breast milk to make the food instead of traditional.
She's like, oh no, I'm out of milk, or am I?
Right. And then I said, I went on about how really don't know how that would be. I don't know what it tastes like, whatever, this and that. And somehow it got to the point where she said something about tandem breastfeeding. And I said, so wait, I said, are you talking about where you're feeding your newborn and me at the same time? And she goes, yep, I just made it weird, didn't I?
Yeah, that took it to a different level.
And I'm like, yeah.
You're like,
What?
this is awkward, but at the same time, I'm horny.
Well, well, the thing was like, the weirdest part was the baby and me doing it at the same time. And to be honest,
That's the weird part.
It was like, it was all weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, is this a person that you were like flirtatiously like we could maybe date?
No.
So that's what makes it extra weird then too. It's just like,
well,
then it's like, does she want me to?
We weren't,
do
but
that?
we weren't, but there was something later that made me think that maybe that could have been on that person's mind.
Right.
But I've never asked.
But you're
her.
like, she's had a baby. She's dead to me. Ugh.
Well,
gross. Her body is ruined.
No, it was more all of the circumstances surrounding her having a baby that would make me like not interested in getting involved.
The fact that she had sex with another man, and you're like, I refuse to have sex with a woman who's had sex with another man.
That's where I crossed the line. I need someone to be pure.
Sean's like, virgins only, please.
Right. Yeah. At least get to the front of the line. What are you doing? Oh. I thought you were no-look typing, which is the way you're supposed to type. Why? No, I didn't think you were doing that.
You didn't think I was? Oh, you thought I was like, no,
That's why I just said no-look typing. That's why I just said no-look typing.
I'm the Stevie Wonder of keyboards.
He played
computer keyboards.
Keyboard.
Computer keyboards. As soon as I said it, I'm like, that didn't translate the way I wanted it
to. You're way less talented than he is.
For sure.
So Jimmy Carter died, 100 years old. How about that?
Congrats. I don't know what to say.
I knew he was still alive before, up until his death. Which is a weird thing to say because that applies to everybody.
Yeah.
But you're not always aware. You might, like, I thought Bob Barker was dead long before he was.
Yeah. Just the other day I was thinking about somebody. I'm like, I saw a commercial with Willie Nelson and I'm like, is Willie Nelson dead?
No, he's I don't know how old he is, but
I couldn't remember. I'm like, for some reason I felt like I had heard he was dead, but then I'm like, but I don't think he's dead. Like my brain was just like remembering something completely wrong.
Sure. No, as far as I know, he is still alive to this day.
Mm-hmm. But at the time of this recording.
Yeah. Yeah. On January, is it the 2nd? Yeah. On January 2nd, 2025, Willie Nelson is still alive.
Unless he dies in the next couple hours.
True. Fine.
Yeah.
7:17 p.m. Central Time, January 2nd, 2025. Willie Nelson has not passed on. To our knowledge,
he just died, and we didn't.
He just did at 7:17.
He just died like
that
a couple
would be
seconds
amazing.
Before you said that.
That would be amazing. Like it's never good.
Not good. Amazing.
No,
like just kind of like
but
coincidentally amazing.
That would be insane.
Like that would be awesome.
Talk about successfully predicting on a Deadpool, like a celebrity Deadpool.
Like
that is
speaking of the person as they're dying.
You can't be more on the nose than that.
Yeah.
You typically predict. I mean, I guess I've never officially participated in one, but I would imagine you're just trying to name the year that someone will pass away.
Like I think sometimes it's like, who do you think is going to die like this year? Yeah, I think it's. Sure. I don't know if it's broken down to month. But yeah,
I mean, some people could get oddly like dementedly competitive with it and try to go down to the year or even the week. I successfully predicted the year that Stephen Hawking passed away, and but Jimmy Carter, I kind of forgot about him, and I didn't realize he was 100. I probably could have called that one. I think, you know what? Not to say I want this to happen, but I think this is finally. I think Dick Van Dyke is going to go in 2025.
Probably. He's like, what, 98 or something?
I think he's 99.
99
I think he's
now?
going to turn 100 this year. He might pull a Betty White and go just beforehand.
Yeah. I can't believe she was that old. She
Oh,
did
really?
Not, well, just because she didn't.
You know what? You're
she
right,
didn't
because
seem that old at all.
you're right, because honestly, like in the later parts of his name is escaping me. He had 2 TV shows. Bob Newhart.
Uh-huh.
The way he looked, and like
he was looking rough in the end.
He looked like he had died years before he died.
Like he went, like, it was weird though, because like it seemed like he was good, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, he looks very old and sickly, and
well, that could be.
Like,
I don't know what I'm not sure if he passed. I forget what he. I shouldn't say I forget. I never knew if he just sort of passed from old age, or if it was some other like illness that he just.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But that can happen where it just comes on, and all of a sudden you're at an advanced age to the point where the illness,
any little illness you get, it just wreaks havoc on you.
It does a crazy number on you right away, rapidly. But yeah, Betty White, she just kind of looked the same for the most part, as far as I've been aware
from
of
like
her
70
existence.
on.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't seem to change much from the Golden Girls days.
I mean, if you look at her from that time, you'd be like, oh yeah, she's much younger. But
yeah,
I mean, she's kind of like, once she kind of got old, she's kind of maintained old for like, you know what I mean? Like once she got to the point where you're like, oh, she's an old woman, she just kind of stayed that age until she passed away, and she was still very quick, and
she was coasting old.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
she
decline.
She was in a she maintained. She stayed course.
She was on autopilot.
Yeah,
her aging went on autopilot.
Yeah,
but that's not a good analogy either, because that's just saying that you're not in control of it, and it changes. It can change. So yeah, who do you think? You got someone where you're like, you know what? I think it's time. I think it's their time.
I don't know if I want to say I think it's their time, but maybe who might go. Like,
is Kirk Douglas still alive? I'm gonna look it up.
I don't think so.
Because if he's not, I mean, if he is,
Kirk, I think he passed away a while ago.
I think he did.
I think. I don't know. There's some people looking pretty old, looking pretty.
2020,
old and rough now. Patrick Stewart's looking mighty old nowadays.
Patrick Stewart is 84.
Okay, he's got some time left.
Possibly. I mean,
I don't want to say anything, because then also I'll be like,
well, it's not
am I manifesting it?
No. That's don't. People need to stop thinking that can happen.
I feel like I caused it.
No.
So let's name some people I wish would die.
I know someone. I know someone that used to work where I work that retired a little while ago, and she just passed away. I want to say it was like December 29th or something. Mm-hmm. I think she was only 70.
Yeah, I mean, it's
or 60, in her 60s. I think maybe even.
It's a crapshoot, but
yeah, it is.
I mean,
so to say that Patrick Stewart has plenty of time left, you can't know that.
In the scheme of what his age is, he very well could have plenty of time left.
Sure, and
I hope he does, because I like Patrick Stewart. I think he's awesome. So I hope he lasts many, many more years. I don't know. It sucks, because it's like, as we're getting older, more and more people are dying, and it's like, especially we had that couple year run of just people dropping like flies.
Yeah.
And it was just like, especially people that we really kind of grew up with, like a lot of musicians that we really liked and stuff. And it was just like crazy how many of them were just passing away randomly at very young ages.
Yeah. I mean, some of them were
50s and 60s, and you're going, it's like, that's just too soon.
Well, I know it is crazy, because it does seem like it's more common with that type of a lifestyle, that type of a profession. But you see some people like the Rolling Stones that just, it's an anomaly, it seems. Yeah. That's one. Maybe a member of the Rolling Stones will kick it this year. Like, who's the Keith Richards? He might go
Keith
this year.
Keith Richards looks like he's been an animated corpse for decades.
That's what I was saying. But yeah. Oh yeah, he's
like he went. He had some voodoo shit happen to him, and that's why
something did happen to him. You know why? You know who he's younger than?
Who?
Patrick Stewart. He's only 81.
But he's looked like he's been 81 for the last 20 years.
No, you're
that
right.
man lived a rough life.
How old is Paul McCartney?
He did some
I wonder?
shit. Paul McCartney's got to be in his 80s too.
He is 82. He's a year older than Mr. Keith Richards. Ringo. You know who looks crazy for his age still is Ringo.
Ringo still looks really good.
It's insane how good he looks.
He looks better now than he did when he was in the Beatles.
He does.
Like he's a much handsomer man now. The beard did a lot for him.
He's 84.
Oh, he's older.
He was born in 1940. He's the same age
live
as
the longest. I think he'll outlive Paul.
Yeah. I mean, because Paul is still way more active in touring and stuff. I'm not sure how often Ringo's like out there on the road, doing
Ringo
musical
just seems like
performances.
the healthier of them all. Like I feel like he experimented a lot less.
Well, and
Who knows,
he also there was probably the least amount of attention on him, and so
yeah,
maybe he was a
had
little
less-
more relaxed,
less
life.
risk, less sexual risk.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, it's a little bit
Everybody
of a
was going after
backhanded,
the other ones.
a little backhanded compliment. I think that was.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a good way to live longer. Just don't go having
having a bunch of
sex.
yeah. Don't enjoy yourself.
I mean, you can still enjoy yourself. Just
Avoid life to prevent death. That's some people's motto.
yeah. But then the other hand is YOLO. So
The other hand is YOLO, and FOMO is part of it too.
I'm not
FOMO.
I don't really suffer from FOMO.
No, but I'm not saying you do. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's another part of the YOLO. Like you might having FOMO might contribute to you going along with a YOLO type of an attitude.
Oh, so then I'm just fucked because I don't get either.
Why?
I don't live
I'm
the YOLO lifestyle, and I do not get bothered by FOMO.
Do you know? I think you might live more of the Lowly Islands YOLO lifestyle, which, judging by that reaction, means you may or may not be familiar with
too drastic.
it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar. Not very familiar. I'm familiar.
I'm like so familiar, like I know it
I'm
intimately.
like overly familiar with it. I can recite every lyric.
I'm like I've been promiscuous with that song.
No. No, I just I'm
Whoops.
not. I'm not. I have no YOLO in me. No fear of YOLO or FOMO. No YOLO lifestyle. Like I'm clearly I don't do shit, so I'm not worried about missing out, and I'm not worried about the fact that I only live once.
How have your short, what do you call them? Your little one night D&D campaigns. Has that been continuing?
I figured I knew where you were going. I was just trying to let you get there.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what they're
one
called.
night. What? So there wasn't one in December because of it being the holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
There is one coming up on the 11th, but the people I play with, one's out of town, and then one it's their birthday that day, so they're not going to play it. So I'm contemplating if I'm going to go just solo.
That's a Saturday,
or
right?
not. So it's out of Saturday, yeah.
I think that
I'm contemplating going and playing, just going alone to it. There's other people that go to it, obviously.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a weird thing to do.
yeah, just be like me and a DM.
Well, or just you.
It's like I left the house for this.
Yeah, I could have done this at home.
Yeah, to sit by myself in a restaurant and roll dice and tell myself what I'm doing.
A boba tea cafe.
No, it's a restaurant.
I know some our friends. I think are planning to have a little get together, maybe probably a game night on the 11th. I think.
Okay.
Because I think it was Eric that texted all of us because he said, "Yeah, we're not going to be around for New Year's, but how about we all gather on the 11th?" I think it was.
Well, depending on what kind of a game night it is,
I don't think it'll be virtual.
I could virtual in.
I don't think.
Out.
I mean, we could get you on a screen and
depends on the type of game you'd play. If it was like a Boulder Dash situation, I could play virtually. You know,
sure you could. You'd have to somehow hand in what you write down to the person who has to read them. But
I would I could text my answers to whoever it
you
was.
Could.
Yeah.
But you know what? Boulder Dash has never come up as a game
That
to
would
play
be
for
difficult
those.
too, because then they would be like, and then this person wrote.
Hold
They'd
up,
hold up their phone and read it.
They would have what they would have to do is write what you text them on a
Right,
slip
and
of
then
paper, just like everybody else
swap it all
has.
around. And then,
Yeah. No, there's ways we could make it happen, but what
Right.
I'm saying is Balderdash has never been
What
a
I'm saying
suggested
is,
game.
we're not going to do it.
What I'm saying is everyone hates that game. No one likes that game.
It's a fun game.
Well, the thing is,
With
that
the right
group,
people, it's a fun
that
game.
group just likes to play the same really obscure games that they always play.
Yeah, they're probably going to play like Settlers of Catan or something, or
Well, it's what's that Tokyo one?
yeah, I
or
can't
Secret
remember.
Hitler. Like those are what they play.
I've never played Secret Hitler. I'm pretty bummed. I've seen it played several times. And,
How have you seen it played but not played?
YouTube stuff where there's this channel I watch. They do a ton of different content, and sometimes they play Secret Hitler.
I can't tell if I'm good at that game or not, because I don't try to be good at it.
Yeah,
I don't try to really persuade people or convince people of one thing or another. I'm just people can't read me
right
with the way I play, and so I don't know if that makes me good or bad. I don't know what is the goal I don't know.
The goal is to win. So whatever side you're on, I guess.
Well, sure,
Yeah,
but I think I don't know if it's better to try to be someone to persuade someone to vote. I don't know. I think that people have a real hard time accurately figuring out what I am. So sometimes that works against me by they just assume I'm like, well, you're Hitler, so let's kill you or whatever.
Right.
Or I don't know, but I don't know. I enjoy it, but I don't think I enjoy it in the same way that most people do. I think people like Mark and Mike and Eric are really into the whole. Let's be really strategic about this and convince people one thing or another.
See, I'd be interested to see how I would play it, because I tend to like to try to be an agent of chaos.
Sure.
So even if I wasn't a fascist or Hitler, I'd probably still just like make people would probably assume I was.
Okay.
Based on the way I'd probably be playing it.
I just try to be not like. I try to be very subtle and subdued usually, so that I want to seem trustworthy. I want people to take no issue with voting me to be president or chancellor and vice chancellor or something like that. I forget but yeah, I don't want people to be like, no, I'm voting no for you because I don't trust you at all.
Right.
I'd rather be like an unassuming type of a figure in that game. So,
well.
But maybe we can go through a round of everybody's John or something.
Maybe.
And then you
that game's weird.
Partake in that. Good weird.
I think it would be fun if we ever be fun to do a podcast version of Secret Hitler if I'm ever in town. We get everybody together.
Oh, that would be fun.
We could record us playing that.
That'd be interesting to try to film record.
It would probably just have to be a single shot.
Well, unless we want to have a few people's phones up covering different angles, and then
it would probably it'd be something we'd have to plan out ahead to give extra time for editing and everything too. So we'd be like, all right, well, we're going to record a regular episode, and then we'll record this, and we'll get it out when we get it out.
This would be something we would record, and the plan for it to be released 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Afterward.
If we're gonna have a bunch of camera shots that you're gonna have to deal with editing, and
I mean, whenever we have a guest, I'm dealing with 3. Yeah. So I mean, if you have 3 camera angles that just one camera angle covers this group of people, one covers this group, it could still be just 3 or 4.
True.
I've dealt with 5.
True.
So it might not necessarily make it more complicated.
It would just depend on if that would be different, because with when you were dealing with the 5, you just ended up staying on the stagnant shot more. You would do singles and then the group. If it was that, you would actually have to cut to each specific camera during specific times, so it'd be a bit more cutting probably.
I mean that's kind of what I try to do anyway.
Yeah.
If you're really getting into something, and when you're talking, I'll just cut to you.
Yeah.
So then if I'll notice, then I'll, what?
Whoa.
I will specifically not show
I know.
any of that. No, but then sometimes I'll
zoom in on
notice
your
I'll
eye.
do some silly face that
Mhm.
reacts to what you're saying, and I'll cut to that real quick, and Anyway, folks, this is how the sausage tastes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I don't think
Unless you can't taste. Unless you've lost
you
that sense.
have lost the sense of taste.
Then you just have to smell it. And,
I'm describing to
try
you.
to
Well,
remember.
to tell someone that this is how something tastes doesn't mean that they have to have the sense of taste, because this is me describing. This is actually more for people who have lost the sense of taste.
Right.
For me describing how it tastes, because you wouldn't need the description.
How would you describe the
taste
taste?
things.
How would you describe the taste of sausage to somebody who has never had the sense of taste?
Like, it is delicious.
That's not descriptive enough. I need more descriptors. What does it taste like?
Well, again, if someone has never had the sense of
I know, I
taste,
just
then
thought
any
about
description would fall on deaf tongues.
I thought of that as I was describing it. I'm like, they're not going to know what, even if you like specifically
this is
broke
salty.
down each part. Yeah, they would
Right.
just like, I no frame of reference.
That's why I still can't figure out how Helen Keller was taught any type of way to communicate.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it. Supposedly it happened.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
Because she's
how
a
it's
woman?
even
See you next Tuesday.
possibly. Wow. Goodbye.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
I'm
in
not
order to
doing
be able
that.
to stop.
I'm not
No?
doing that. I will not do that. I'm definitely not going to do that because it would be so fucking awkward.